something like considering the user's path. Okay, the user wants to, how does the product work? What is the flow of this task? Let's say you want to complete a task. And how do you get this task started? How do you finish this task? How many, what is the user journey of completing a task? That is the work of the UX designer. Do you understand? It's not just to create a design. How does the user relate to this design? That is what we mean by components of a UX designer. You can see it's something entirely different from components of a UI designer. Do you understand? That's what I mean by component. So going forward, I also have tools and techniques. So as users now, as UI and UX designers, like me now, you say UI designers uses Adobe XD, Sketch, Figma, Photoshop to create mock-ups and other things that you need to do for their UI design. For somebody like a UX designer now, though you use Axial RP, InVision, Balsamic, and those are tools that I use for Balsamic. It is used to create wireframes and all of that. Figma for wireframing, prototyping. It depends on what you are doing. So there are tools. So a tool like Figma now comprises of all these features too. You can do wireframe, you can do flow chart, you can do FigJam, a lot of that. But what we are saying is for a UI designer, there are some specific tools that to use, such as Figma, Sketch, Adobe XD. Do you understand? But for a UX design, a UX designer now, you should now understand how to use Balsamic. Maybe when you want to you want to draw your wireframe, depending on what you're trying to do. So you should understand that there are specific tools for UI designers. There are also specific tools for UX designers. Do you understand? Okay. So the last point now, which is the end goal. So for every role, there's an aim of that role. What are they trying to achieve? Do you understand? For a UI designer, you focus on delivering a visually appealing, and that is like the objective. UI designer doesn't necessarily have to relate with users. You don't see UI designers going to creating questionnaires. That's not his job. The zone is just like, oh, okay, they have this product, they have he just, okay, this is what we want to do. He created a wireframe and he started designing based on what he has been given, maybe a brand guidelines, a brand system, whatever it is. He just wants to design based on what he's been given. Do you understand? But for a UX designers now, a UX designer aims to deliver satisfying and intuitive user experience. Do you understand? So the back end of a UX designer is to satisfy the users. It goes the same way to the UI designers too, but more importantly, the experience of the users is very, very important to a UX designer. How they can feel with this UI, with this product, solving their issues, how they can relate with this product. This is very, very important to the UX designer. So we can say a UI designer focuses on creating a visually appealing. It must be appealing. So you can see a product now, don't necessarily appealing like that, but it solves the user's problem. So you can say that type of product does not pass through the UI design because that person is not necessarily concerned with the visual appealing of that product, but solving the problem of that user. Do you understand? So it's a different route. Okay, so looking forward now, I have similarities between UI and UX design. So as I've said, both of them are kind of intertwined. They marry themselves. Do you understand? Just like husband and wife. So when we say similarities between UI and UX design, both of them are user-centric. Because when you say user-centric, at the end of this, if you look at the name to user interface, user experience, both of them have what is called user. So at the behind the idea of UI and UX design, there is user there. So we consider them, okay, we didn't like this color with this button, we don't see this button very, is this primary button big enough? Is this secondary button light enough? Will they be able to see? Can we find a way to reduce user journey before they perform this task? Can we find a way to make this product easy for them to use? That is behind every designer, UI, UX designer, I don't know for front end developer, behind every product as a designer, there is user intentions there, trying to consider them. As we usually say, and I always quote, users are very, very lazy. We need to find a way to make them do things easily. Do you understand? And that statement is not like an insult. It's just like everybody wants something that is easy to use and fast. So if I can get my product, if I can get my blue food in one click, that's fun. Instead of going to click, then order, pay, track order, that's a lot of journey too. If I can get it in one click, it solves my problem. Do you understand? At the end of everything, we are always trying to consider the users. Then the second point, which is the similarity, is the collaborative process. So as a UI designer now and a UX designer, both of you can collaborate. So that is why we call it UI and UX design. So, and I said earlier in my presentation that it is possible to also be a UX designer because it goes and imagine I have my product now, I have a UI designer, I have a UX designer. That's a lot of stress. If it is not possible, why can't somebody, same person, become a UI designer and also a UX designer? Do you understand? So that is it. Then we also have iterative design process. What I mean by iterative design process is for every designer, there's something we call feedback. So for every design, there's usually a feedback, maybe from a test or so. So people, designer, whether you're a UX designer or whether you're a UI designer, there's something called it because they will come back after the test. Okay, so there's always this back and forth process, like, okay, this button should be bigger, this what's it called, this hamburger menu is too small. That is the process. There's a feedback, you correct it, there's a feedback, you correct it. That is what you call um what's it called, updates. So most of us must have seen it. There's some the new WhatsApp now, there's a lot of changes there. That's the iterative process. There's an update, they fix it. There's an update, they fix it. There's an update, they fix it. That's what we call. That's why we see update on most of our apps. It's an iteration process. Do you understand? Then we also have use of prototyping and testing. Both UI designers and UX designers prototype and they also test. For every design, whether you're a UI designer, there's somebody to test your product. There's somebody to test your design because how do you know if your design is good if someone is not testing it? You don't just say because you're a UI designer now or you are very, very good in your design and you feel like this is the best design I've ever done in my life, then you push it out. No, people have to test it, then see how it looks. Before you push it out, if you push it out the way you feel like it is good, permit me to speak Yoruba. Bó ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ náà ló ṣe máa bẹ́ padà. Sorry for those of us that don't understand Yoruba. It's just the way it is. There should be testing in all of our products. Do you understand? There should be testing in all of our designs. So you can, before you push it out, people can see your flaws, they correct it, take it to your team lead, take it to your mentor, take it to whoever is above you. So let them go through it. And there are some sites now that helps us with testing. Do you understand? That helps us with testing. So you can see actual users can help you test your product and tell you your flaws, what you need to correct before you push the product out. So that's both of this, both user interface designers and UX designers face this and they also do it. Then finally, we have emphasis on usability. For a UI designer and a UX designer, there's emphasis on usability because it is important. If users cannot use your product, it is useless. Whether you're a UI designer or UX designer, there should be usability there. They should be able to use the product. They should be able to perform a task. They should be able to see your button. They cannot see your button and I want to order something. Why should I use that product? Imagine as Glovo is now, there's nothing like order and there's nothing like pay now. Do you understand? How do I get my product? How do I get my food? Do you understand? That is what I mean by usability. It should be usable. That is that. Okay, so in conclusion, like I mentioned before, so as you guys have seen, I'm not here to discuss UI designer is better than UX designer. No, both of them are meant to complement each other. Both of them are meant to complement each other. So, as a UI designer, whether you're a UI designer, whether you're a UX designer, you are meant to complement each other. And it's not like a UI designer is much better. No, it is a compliment. Do you understand? So I read that some of UI UX design share common goals, putting users at the center of the design process, collaborating effectively when necessary, iterating on design based on feedback, using prototyping and testing to validate design, and emphasizing usability testing to create a positive user experience. Because at the end of the day, the users must be able to use that product. And if they are not, some of them must have gone to App Store or Apple Store, and you see some reviews about some product, and you'll be like, wow, does this product go through the design process? Because if they do, this review should not be there. Do you understand? And that brings us to the end of my presentation. And if there is any question, I'm so sorry, Victoria, I almost forgot. Do we still have time for questions? Hello, Victoria. Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so can we still ask question, or we just go to anyone with a question or contribution, anything at all?
Yes, I have a contribution.
All right, thank you so much.
Yes. So I really enjoyed. I have to compliment it. Actually, presentation of the solution. I could see that you actually the UI UX designer from your slides, where you presented your slide is awesome. Thank you very much. But my contribution, I just based on what you said, um, defining and explaining UI and UX. Based on your explanation, I was able to understand that UI is basically you designing an interface that is appealing to the users, and UX is basically the experience that the users get from the design that have been made already, or to improve their experience based on the interface. That's what they interact with. And I was able to get that. I was able to, I was thinking and I was saying that for even for you high design to be better or to be better or to serve the users better, you have to have information from the user experience side.
Exactly.
So and exactly. So that makes me to understand that the two are very, very important. And if someone does the two, it's of more advantage first because your user experience knowledge will guide how you do your user interface. Thank you very much. Adekunle. That's my
Thank you so
contribution.
much. Who spoke just now? I can't say your name.
Okay, my name is Akintayo Tolani. Tolani.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Talani. That was a very, very good contribution. Okay. So if there's no questions, I guess that's the end of my side.
I have a question.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, for the wonderful presentation. I really enjoyed it. Okay, so my question is, often I do see a lot of, maybe I will see sometimes I'll see graphic designers, sometimes I'll see product designers. So is there any similarities between these people? I want it's one more focused on UI, while other focused on UX. Like now, maybe product designers, maybe they combine both UI and UX. Why graphic designer combine? Maybe they just choose either UI or UX. But I'm not so clear about that. Can you share more light? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. I don't know. What's your name, sir? Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Yes,
can
I
hear
can
you.
hear you.
Hello. All right. Yeah. Hello.
I can hear you. It was Ibrahim that was speaking.
All right. Okay. So the thing is, when we say a product designer, so let's say for example now, creating a product is not just about designing the product. Do you understand? So from the beginning or from creating a product, there's research, there's objectives. So a whole lot of people comes to that. Do you understand? Do you understand? And so when we say product designer, you are not just a UI designer. You are working with project managers. You are working with the developers. It's not same as a UX, UI designer. You are not working with developers. But when you say a product designer, you are concerned entirely with the product, with the entire journey of the product, starting from the research, starting from the design, starting from the everything, the whole aspect of the journey. We are working with a lot of people, working with stakeholders just to ensure this product comes out live as you have designed it. Do you understand? That's what I mean by a product designer. That doesn't, and if you notice, you see that some people gravitated from, would I say gravitated?